Nathan, yeah, so firstly, morning all, and really great to be chatting. So I think to Tommy's point, there was, I would guess, a bit of a surprise on the weekend with the Bulls winning. I think if anyone saw any other team slipping up, it may well have been, in my view, Ulster had the ability to beat the Stormers, and the Stormers came back and won right at the death. And for me, that's probably been the story of the Stormers season. They've got this uncanny ability to win late. None of our teams started well, but they finished well, and I think that's culminated in the two teams in the final, and that is probably what we can expect from the final. Two teams that are, I guess, quite different in the way they go about things, quite different in their makeup. The Stormers, I think, at times they've just not quite got it all going for 80 minutes, if I could put it that way, which is why they've had to win some games tough and win them in the last few minutes. They just have these lapses. I thought they should have beaten Edinburgh much more comfortably than they did in the quarterfinal, and I thought they were possibly lucky to escape against Ulster. Twice this season they've escaped against Ulster, which is fortunate, but sometimes to get to a final you need a bit of luck. The Bulls, on the other hand, are the team with no big names, no real stars that stand up and shine, but the sum of their parts is just massive. They've got a pack of forwards that at the start of the season we were all worried about their ability to scrum. We were worried about their ability to really dog it out and provide that physical, confrontational game that the Bulls are so famous for. They've found a way. They play an exciting brand of rugby. They don't necessarily use that pack of forwards, in the tradition of Bulls rugby. And they've got some players on the outside who can read the game well and who finish. So it's going to be interesting. I think the one downside is obviously, guys, and for those who haven't been following our weather here in South Africa, Cape Town, it's been are having torrential rain and floods at the moment, and hopefully that doesn't put a dampener on the game on Saturday night, and hopefully by then it's dried out and the rain is gone. But if it is quite clear, I think we'll see a really great game of rugby. The Bulls will have to move the ball around a bit to beat the Stormers. The Stormers have got a big pack of forwards. They've got strong midfield. Both teams have got fly-halves who control the game well. It's going to be awfully close. But I think, Nathan, to have to predict, you'd be stupid to get to bet against the Bulls because they've gone and beaten Leinster away. But it's hard to not, pick the home side. The Stormers are just laden with talent, and they've got a team that rise to the big occasion.
Great, thanks, Nathan. We'll go to Stephen, followed by Heinz, and then Ken.
Hi guys, nice to see you. Thanks for chatting to us. Joel, my first question is to you. The conditions here, as you mentioned, the rain is it's been hectic. Which team do you think that will suit the most, the Bulls or the Stormers?
So I do think it'll suit the Stormers more. They've got a big, strong front row. They've got a strong, powerful bench, and as much as us backline players like to think we win and lose the game, we don't. It's won and lost up front, and unfortunately, and I say this with with a little caveat, but scrummaging has become such a massive part of the modern game. And if you think that the weather's wet and miserable, you'd think there'll be more errors. You'll think that there'll be more scrums in the game, and then you'd fancy the likes of Kitsoff and Malherbe will have a little dominant effect in come scrum time. If it is a little bit looser, then you'd look, at Marcel Coetzee, Ulrich Loh, Arno Botha as a bigger, more powerful, stack of loose forwards who can be more involved in the game. They're ball carrying. Stormers, on the other hand, don't have that ball carrying ability as spread across the field. They've got Evan Roos, who's outstanding, but Chika Diamani comes with something different, not so much the game for the wet weather conditions. And Deon Fourie is a proper jackal, a proper open side flanker. If it is wet and close, you would think that the tight phase will be a big thing, the scrum and the maul, and then you'd have to look at the Stormers.